What are some of like the biggest challenges you face building the business over the past 10 years?
And you got to roll with the punches, and you have to constantly be adapting. And Drew's whole thing, which I like about it, is it's like, don't take life too seriously. He's got a one-of-one AP that AP made for him.
How are you able to travel and work at the same time?
My phone and laptop.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I feel like crap after a few days of like not working out.
That's what people don't get, is that exercise, it's a drug. Like,
Absolutely.
I have to exercise every day, some form. I didn't make it to the gym today, but I went for a jog before this, knocked out 100 push-ups. I feel way better. Do you think living in Miami has caused your business to grow more than it would have anywhere else?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Miami Injury Lawyer podcast. Today we have Mark Margulies of Horus straps. You guys probably know him for his amazing watch straps. He has a red strap on his Daytona today. But it's crazy because I've known Mark for probably like 10, 15 years now.
Yeah, if not longer.
Yeah, for a really long time. We were never really close friends, but nonetheless, we would always see each other. And I'm really glad to have him on today. So thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. Tell us about Horus straps and how it started.
So we make watch straps, obviously.
Yeah.
Mostly Rolex, AP, and then a lot of universal fit stuff that'll fit, Omegas, Panerai.
Oh, nice.
Seiko, pretty much anything. But we mostly do rubber straps. Of course, we're going to be expanding into a lot of other things. And we got really known for kind of our crazy colors, crazy patterns.
Yeah.
And I think that we really kind of created that industry of the watch straps that people hadn't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
How it started was, it's a long story, but I was in college at the time at the University of Florida. So I was always kind of like entrepreneurial, always doing little side hustle things. And I was studying to go to law school or, some kind of business graduate school, JD MBA. I took the LSAT twice, took the GMAT twice.
Nice.
But I was always, doing little things on the side. And I knew about watches back then. I had some friends in South Florida who were like kind of into the high-end watch game, or at least their parents or other people I knew.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, back then, like, nobody knew what an AP is.
Right.
Like,
it was so different.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Like, you could go. I would assume an Aquanaut you could probably buy at a heavy discount, for example. Mm-hmm. So the watch game was just completely different back then. It was not a thing like it is today.
Right.
But nonetheless, there was still those people that liked watches, so I kind of had this knowledge of them. And when I would come down to Miami, I was kind of exposed to that. And even back then, watch straps were a thing. Like, you could go to, the Panerai was like really big back then. Panerai was still big.
Yeah.
But part of the Panerai culture is changing your strap. But whenever I would go to the stores, and I didn't have any nice watches or anything at the time, and I would like kind of observe the watch strap culture, there was no, to me, cool straps.
Right.
It was like brown leather, black leather, dark blue. It's just run-of-the-mill stuff.
Yeah.
And I was kind of flashy back then. I liked bright colors. I liked, I was like into all the patterns. I was just a little different back then.
Yeah.
But I was looking at this and I was like, why is nobody making like crazy colors? Why is nobody doing anything different?
Right.
I just saw like a huge opening, like a something missing in the industry.
Yeah.
So we started out only leather straps.
Really?
Yeah, that was it. No rubber, nothing.
But you were doing like ostrich and stuff back then.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, like exotic leathers.
Yeah.
And so it was a really simple website. And you would just pick your leather color, pick your stitching, the back, whatever you want, and we make it for you.
It was all custom, like one-offs.
Yeah, we may have kept some stuff in stock back then, but the idea was that you could order a custom strap.
Gotcha.
It was only leather.
Gotcha.
But first of all, this was right when Instagram was getting like really popular.
What year was this?
So, what year did I graduate high school? I was, I guess, 2011, I think I graduated high school.
Okay.
Because I remember in my freshman dorm at University of Florida, we had Instagram, but it was like to post like stupid pictures that your
Right.
friends could see with the stupid filters on them.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a
It wasn't what it is today.
no,
Yeah.
like you didn't have a business on there.
Yeah.
So that I know. But basically, Instagram over the next, I don't know, I guess 2-3 years started to become this like monster that like, it was different back then too.
Yeah.
These pages started to come about, like all
Right.
these like luxury lifestyle kind of like pages and cars and watches and whatever. I mean, I 100% think that part of this massive boom of watches was due to Instagram, like for sure.
I agree.
And basically, we were kind of starting it right when Instagram was also becoming like a totally different kind of animal.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped us a lot. And back then, I mean, you would get a post on one of these big pages and it was like a lot of followers
Right.
really quickly. It doesn't work like that anymore.
No.
It's like impossible. So basically, yeah, I mean, we started making these straps, but on Instagram, like kind of the marketing that we did was really good. And one of the things that I was doing was just like really wild combinations. You like a red alligator strap with like blue stitching on an AP. Like that looks ridiculous. Back then, that was like what's going on.
Yeah. Now that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but like nobody had seen that, or like yellow python.
Right.
That was like a really new thing.
Yeah.
Then you put it on Instagram, it gets exposed to all these people. That's how I got in touch with all these celebrities. I mean, we used to get like just them reaching out to us all the time.
Really?
Because this was sort of a new thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
So the social media in general, really.
Were you one of the first watch strap companies?
So I'm not going to say we were one of the first watch strap companies because we certainly weren't, but we definitely revolutionized, I think, like what a fashionable kind of trendy watch strap is. Like that did not exist before we came around.
Gotcha.
Like the whole camouflage thing, that was a huge turning point for us.
Yeah.
And I always liked camouflage. Camouflage now is really hot. It's been hot literally since, I don't know, 2015 when it got hot and I started seeing like camouflage everywhere. A lot of Louis Vuitton collections were doing camouflage. Every major designer label started doing camouflage, and I always liked camouflage personally. So that was when we went into rubber, and we decided red camouflage, green camouflage, and I think that when we did that, it was like
That's when it blew up.
Yeah, like this major shift.
Yeah.
And now it's it's a common thing. But
Right.
Yeah.
And getting into the rubber, did that reduce the price point as well, so you were able to sell to more people, or was it around the same price for a rubber and a leather?
It was definitely less. I mean, leather is a different kind of
Of
business.
course.
It's a little more difficult. Not difficult, but it's different in terms of production.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that rubber for a lot of these watches is more desirable. It's more consistent in production.
Yeah.
To have like an integrated rubber strap on this watch it looks very factory.
It does look, now that you say that, it really does look factory.
And it kind of just like lasts
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
And rubber straps, their AP is huge on rubber straps.
Yeah.
Rolex, I mean, Oyster Flex is a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's more modern. I
Yeah.
think that when our generation looks at watches, we tend to go more for a nice bracelet. And if we're not going to do that, I think we tend to go more for a rubber strap than like an alligator strap.
I agree.
Overall.
Yeah.
So.
You don't see too many watches on leather nowadays. Maybe Pateks.
There's some watches that are, it's like, the Daytona used to come, there used to be a lot of models on that like alligator strap. And it's Oyster Flex now.
Yeah.
That's what people want, I think. It's just more modern, it's younger, it's cool.
What is the Oyster Flex?
So the Oyster Flex is Rolex's rubber strap.
Right. But it has like titanium in it or something.
It does.
Right?
So
Okay.
the thing about the Oyster Flex is, first of all, a Rolex that comes on Oyster Flex. So they have a Oyster Flex Yachtmaster, Skydweller, Daytona, whatever.
Right.
If you buy that watch, you can't switch back and forth with like a bracelet. It's the way it attaches is different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
So the case is different. On
there's
the watch.
like in between the lugs, there's kind of like a piece of metal. It's different.
Interesting.
Also, they only make it in black. So it's not like you can go buy a blue camo Oyster Flex.
Yeah, yeah.
And on top of that too, you really can't buy one. I mean, you can't really there's no like market for that. Like I said, you can't just go into the Rolex store and kind of switch it out and
Right.
buy it. And there's only specific models that come on it.
Right.
There's no integrated strap. So if you look at this one where it kind of perfectly forms into that case,
Yeah, it does.
that's not what an Oyster Flex would look like.
Oh, really?
It would have like, it looks great, but it's
But
different.
yeah,
It's a
it
different
doesn't
kind of
look as good.
thing. It's different, you know?
And with an Oyster Flex, do you have to cut those or no to fit them? No, right?
So Rolex measures and sizes it for you.
Oh, really?
So you can adjust the clasp. Like you can make it a little small. Like you can with this
Gotcha.
one actually too.
Gotcha.
But,
oh, and you have an integrated clasp too. You put the Rolex clasp.
So this is strap. Yeah, we have it both ways. Most people want the clasp.
Yeah.
I think it looks better. But this is like a cut to size strap.
Gotcha.
And then even once you cut it, you have 3 adjustments.
Oh, really? Let me see.
So yeah. So basically it comes a little, I have very small wrists,
Sick.
but it will come a little bit longer than
know.
that.
It does actually look like so factory. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the point, you know, with
Yeah.
that clasp and with the integration like that.
Awesome.
And it's funny because I mean, obviously I'm a little bit biased, but I really prefer them on rubber.
Yeah.
It's like when I wear like an all metal watch now, just feels like heavy and like kind of bulky to me.
Yeah.
It's cool. But that's the beauty of the watch strap and like what I love about what we do, because you can take this watch, for example, and let's say that, I don't know, like I'm going to wear a suit tonight or I have a really formal event. I mean, I can put the bracelet right back on.
Right.
And there we go. Let's say that I don't know, going on a tropical vacation. I can put like a yellow strap and just, you know, I'm not going to
Yeah.
wear that every day, but for my vacation, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I want to match like the car or whatever with red. So I wear a red strap.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it too is like it kind of makes it your own, but you want to go sell the watch, put the bracelet back on, nobody ever knows you touched it.
Yeah.
You're not engraving it, you're not putting diamonds.
Right.
That's all fine. Like do whatever you want, it's yours.
Yeah.
But that's what I like love about the strap is that it really makes one watch kind of into many watches.
Yeah, it does. And it feels like a new watch every time you change the
Yeah,
strap.
it's great. I mean, this watch, obviously it's on red right now, but if I came in here with like a Miami blue strap, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And like only watch people understand that.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Absolutely.
other people are like, oh, it's just a different color. But like once you're into watches, it really feels like a whole different watch.
Absolutely.
Like I put a white strap on my Royal Oak, my carbon Royal Oak. I got a factory strap, but I got to get some Horus straps.
Of course.
I got to do like a Miami blue. That would probably look crazy.
I have a lot of colors for that watch.
Yeah?
So let me know what you want.
Yeah, I'll probably do Miami blue. But I put a white strap on that. And then it's like a great summer watch now.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So it's fun. It's fun to mess around with it.
And the thing is too is, well, where we live at least,
Yeah.
it's like, man, you go around. I still to this day, I know I travel a lot.
Yeah.
There's nothing like Miami in terms of like how many nice watches you see.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, everywhere I go, it's just like everybody has an RM. There's a lot of fakes too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I see so many fake RMs.
I bet.
It's kind of funny. But
And when you're in the industry, you could really tell. Like,
yeah, I mean, some of these, it's like, come on, man. But,
Yeah.
you know, especially like everybody these days wants to be unique. You want to
Yeah.
express yourself. You want to have something different. You want to do something different.
yeah.
And this is a great way to do it without, you know, without damaging your watch, without without diminishing the value of it in any
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And how long has it been since you started Horus Straps? Like
2014.
10
About
years.
10 years.
About 10 years.
I mean, look, it was kind of like a hobby at first.
Yeah.
It was like not my focus at all.
Right.
It was my focus, but I was literally studying for the LSAT, studying for the GMAT,
Right.
finishing college. Yeah. So it was kind of a hobby for me.
From it being a hobby to now, like, where are you guys now? How big is your team? If you want to share that.
It's a lot bigger. I mean, I have people working for us literally all over the world.
Wow.
You know, we work with different advertising firms. I have employees and
Wow.
literally all over the country, all over
Yeah.
the world. And it's been a journey, man.
Yeah. What are some of like the biggest challenges you faced, building the business over the past 10 years?
Every day is a challenge.
Yeah,
But,
it is.
You know, growing a business is always, tough.
Yeah.
A lot of the main challenges, first of all, when you start a business and you're really young, you got to grow up and you got to
Right.
realize, what works and what doesn't. There's obviously a lot of things I would do differently now, knowing what I know, but that's part of the learning phase of
Yeah.
things. And when you're young too, like not everybody takes you so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that you have to, when you're 22 years old, it's different.
Right.
Now we're like men, so it's a little bit different in terms of it, and we have like a name behind us.
Yeah.
But that's definitely kind of a challenge. Owning a business too, managing people.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
It's you really gotta stay on top of things.
Yeah.
Gotta learn how to really manage people correctly, pick the right people.
Yeah.
Keep people passionate about the brand, and you gotta roll with the punches, and you have to constantly be adapting.
Yeah.
Since we started, the growth of social media, like TikTok didn't exist.
Right.
Google ads, Facebook ads, that stuff has changed so much.
Yeah.
And this really goes for almost, your business to any business really, but we are living, to me, in one of the most just crazy times in general. Just with AI, the amount of like applications that you can take from AI into business like right now is insane.
It is
and
crazy.
It's like now we have to figure that out.
Right. That's what makes it exciting, right? That's what makes it interesting. If everything stayed the same, you'd be bored. You wouldn't be able to grow your business as quickly. And with that being said, you said you use a lot of advertising firms. Like, where are most of your customers coming from for Horus? Or is it social media? Is it?
So, everywhere. I think it's a lot of word of mouth at this point. Like, we're a known brand in the industry, so people know us. There's a lot of just SEO stuff, a lot of advertising all over the internet, whether that's Google, Facebook, and however else.
Right.
We work hard on Instagram, and we just put ourselves out there a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We do a lot of other forms of advertising too. Yeah. Whether it's like magazines or different sponsorship. We've done like athlete sponsorships.
Really? Who'd you sponsor? Which athlete?
So we sponsored Jalen Phillips on the Dolphins.
Oh, wow.
Well, I wouldn't say we sponsored him, but we did a deal with him.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
That's sick. And what's that guy's name? The guy with the big gap in his teeth?
Oh, Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan. Doesn't he wear your straps too?
Yeah, he does. And he's become like a good friend over the years too.
Really?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever made like custom one-off straps for athletes?
We haven't. We've done a lot of custom one-off straps, and that's actually something that I want to get more into. And with like some changes that we've made in the business, we'll be able to do that a lot more.
Yeah.
In terms of like, hey, you want this like one-off like crazy strap or a limited run, we'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
We actually have a collaboration coming out with a good friend of mine in a few weeks. That's
nice.
Definitely one of the more interesting things that we've done.
Can you say who it is or not yet?
Yeah, of course.
Who is
my
it?
friend Drew Koblitz.
I don't know.
I've already
is
like
he an
posted
athlete?
the strap. No. He's a really interesting guy. He's a great friend.
Gotcha.
And he's just kind of like really well known in the car and watch community.
Yeah.
We're releasing a whole YouTube video that's going to kind of explain everything.
Nice.
But for example, he's just like a hyper passionate car and watch guy.
Gotcha.
Sick car collection. Really passionate.
I gotta look him up.
Yeah, he's got like Singer 911.
I'm gonna follow him.
He's just got he's
What's his Instagram?
It's Koblitz, Coblit. This would be a whole podcast in itself if we were to talk about that collaboration. But he's got a one-of-one AP that AP made for him.
Oh, really? A piece unique?
Like for literally, there's something on that watch that's like he's the only one that has it.
What is it?
So he has his like brand logo.
Really?
Which is a really terribly drawn T-Rex dinosaur.
And AP put that on a watch for him?
On his rotor, yeah.
On the rotor?
I know that sounds ridiculous. You have
That's
to like,
sick.
Yeah, it's sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
How the hell do you get a piece unique from AP?
I don't know. Gotta ask him. But he's got one. So,
that's crazy.
And it's also crazier because that's what we're doing the collaboration with him. Well, amongst other things, like I said, he's a great friend and like he's a cool guy. He's interesting. He's a great person, and doing this with him is fun. But his logo, like, it's so ridiculous. It's like a really horribly drawn T-Rex dinosaur. Yeah. That like he drew as a joke, and it's now like AP put it on a rotor.
That's nuts.
And
so what's the collab gonna be? Is it a strap?
Yeah. So basically, so Drew is a really big Porsche guy.
Gotcha.
And I'm a really big Porsche guy, obviously. And that's actually how we met. Like, I had kind of known about him on Instagram and whatnot, but this was a few years ago. I was at some Porsche show, and he has a Singer 911 there, which is an insane car.
What is a Singer 911?
So Singer 911, first of all, that's a brand that has grown astronomically in recent years. They basically take an old 911, like early 90s. You have to like provide the car, and I mean to say they modify it is that's not accurate. It's like literally like a Pagani, but like old 911.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just like brand new everything, but they are like a work of art.
Yeah.
I've been in the factory, couldn't take pictures or anything. From Drew. Drew took us to the factory.
Yeah.
But it's just this like complete piece of art car. I'll show you pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable attention to detail. So
Nice.
Drew has one. I mean, they're like millions of dollars now.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Like crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Did they used to make their own cars too, or no?
No, they
Singer?
I mean, they are their own. Like they're not a Porsche.
Okay.
It's like literally a Singer.
Gotcha.
It's like a 911 reimagined by Singer.
Gotcha.
But just unbelievable cars. So anyway, Drew had his Singer at this car show, and me and him just started like chopping it up, whatever. And I had a Porsche at the time. We ended up going to dinner, just talking about cars, watches, and we just became really good friends.
Yeah.
And I got to know Drew really well, and we're super tight now. But again, he's a big Porsche guy. I'm a big Porsche guy. In recent years, well, it's been forever, but you know the houndstooth pattern that like comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a checkered almost.
So Drew, so that's like a classic. I mean, it's a pattern in a lot of things, or like suits out of it, but it's kind of like a Porsche thing.
Yeah, I've seen it on Porsches.
So Drew came up with this thing where he basically took that black and white pattern, but instead of it, like if you zoom in on it, it's kind of this like weird design, but he basically replaced it with his little dinosaur. If you look at it really closely,
That's pretty cool.
it's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you knew Drew, you would like get it. He's like a really just funny person.
What does he do for work that he can do all this?
Kind of like this. Like
he does?
Yeah, like it's like he's also just like a master networker.
Gotcha.
Like he just never stops.
Gotcha.
Like I said, he's a great guy. He's a cool person.
Nice.
But yeah, he basically put this dinosaur in the pattern. So for example, like and we printed it on the Strat.
Gotcha.
So like the pattern. What's cool about it is if I'm standing over there and I'm wearing the strap, you just think it's like a houndstooth pattern. But if you look at it up close, it's Drew's dinosaur.
Sick.
So it's kind of, and Drew's whole thing, which I like about it, is it's like, don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's a horribly drawn dinosaur again. But that's kind of just embodies like Drew's character, who he is. It's just like, he loves like goofing around about things.
Yeah.
He loves like just being a jokester.
Nice.
So his whole thing is like, don't take life too seriously. Screw it. Have fun. Whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the message that we're trying to send with it. Part of it, we'll figure out what we're gonna do, but it's cool because it's kind of like a Porsche thing, but it also has this cool message behind it.
Yeah.
And again, if you know Drew, it's like a perfect thing for him.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be a part of it. Yeah.
That's awesome. When is that gonna drop?
So we're planning to unveil it at Car Week this year in California.
When is that?
3 weeks, a month.
Oh, nice.
What's the date today?
What is that, Monterey Car Week?
Yeah.
Okay. That's sick. That's like the biggest car show ever.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I always see that on
It's like the
Instagram.
best time of year.
I gotta go.
Yeah, you would love it.
Yeah, I gotta go. Well, you just mentioned Porsches so many times. We gotta talk about your new Porsche. Well, relatively new. The car, right? 911 the car. And I've seen some crazy content. We'll post some of it here on the clips or whatever. But you've gone on some awesome trips and you almost integrate it with the straps. So like you're actually working when you're on those trips, right? Because it's like marketing.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
first
that's your
of all,
marketing.
We live in a time that, I mean, for me at least, and a lot of other people, like I can technically do whatever I need to do as long as I have an internet connection.
Yeah.
But everything I do, I try to put a little bit of like myself into the brand. And anything I do, I'm going to incorporate Horus into it.
Right.
So whether I'm going to make a special pattern after that trip or a special moment, whatever, I want to like take that trip, that moment, the way my passion, and put it into the brand.
Yeah.
So everything I do, I try to incorporate the brand.
That's awesome. And what trips have you done with that Porsche?
So
By the way, guys, this is a off-road 911. It's the
is.
craziest shit.
Yeah, it's a limited edition. It's the only one they've ever made. So that's
Yeah.
it. Whoever has one has one.
That's awesome. All right, sorry to cut you off.
No. What was your question?
Where'd you go? What was the trip?
So I just got the car, like, where did I get May, June? I mean, I got the car 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Porsche, when you get a brand new Porsche, they give you the option you can get it delivered in Germany. And then that's another goal of mine. I want to get one in Germany and drive around Europe. You can get it delivered to the Atlanta Experience Center or the LA Experience Center in Los Angeles.
Nice. I didn't know LA had one.
Yeah. So Porsche has these experience centers, which you don't have to like buy a car to go there. You can just pay and go. And
Right.
they're awesome. It's like a full racetrack. You can like take the cars around, amazing food bar. It's just really cool.
Sick.
And the Atlanta one has like, I think the LA one does too, but the Atlanta one has this like extensive like restoration department. It's really, really cool. So basically, they give you the option to deliver it to, one of those places. I used to live in LA. I love the West Coast, and getting that car was like kind of like a dream for me. So I said it has to be delivered to LA, and I have to go drive it through where it's supposed to be driven. So we got it delivered to LA, and then I drove it basically east through California, and then mostly Utah.
That's awesome.
Most of the footage was from Utah.
Did you go to Zion?
We passed through Zion, but I like the more like way off the beaten path stuff. So we were going like really off road. I mean, Porsche like reached out to me and like posted the car on their page because there's not a lot of those cars that are
being
doing
used the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, but I did it. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then like, dude, you get the best footage. Who do you go out there with? Do you go alone? You go with a team? Like, how are you getting all this footage?
So that trip, I have to shout out my guys, Project One.
Is that a company?
So it's two guys.
Okay.
Derek and Lewis. They're called Project One. They are extremely talented, and we took them on that trip. Their automotive content is just insane.
Gotcha.
Like those guys are like, they have like a special talent.
Yeah.
They just got the eye, and they do it right. Funny, actually, I met them last year at Car Week at a Singer track day.
Oh, wow.
Super randomly.
Yeah.
One of them was just filming stuff. I started talking to him, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
And it's funny how life works like that.
Yeah.
So I just took them along on the trip. So all the video footage and everything was all them. They're like wizards with that stuff. And
Yeah, dude, it's incredible.
They just know how to put it together.
It's literally like a movie.
Yeah.
It was a movie.
Yeah, you got to look at their YouTube. Like they're
crazy.
like hyper talented.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
They got
Project
like a
One.
special sauce. The photography is mostly me. I love
Gotcha.
photography.
Okay.
Making videos stresses me out.
Yeah.
Like personally, like I hate making reels and stuff. It aggravates me. But I love photography.
Yeah.
I love just like shooting and like capturing moments. So
Gotcha.
Most of the pictures are me. But yeah, I got to give those guys credit.
Nice. So you took them along with you for the trip. How long was the trip?
12 days or so.
That's
Maybe
awesome.
like something like that. Yeah.
And the car held up in like all terrain.
Dude, it's really impressive. It's not a Jeep by any means, but it's bizarre, man. It's like the car. First of all, the car's so transformative. Like if you put it in sport mode and you lower it, it just drives like a nice 911.
Really?
You don't feel like you're on this like lifted, knobby tire, strange vehicle. But to put it in off-road mode, lift it up and just go out there, it's the weirdest feeling to be in the middle of nowhere, just ripping through these like super crappy dirt roads that are like only really meant for Jeeps and stuff.
Yeah.
You're just flying through it in a brand new 911.
It's nuts.
It's insane.
That's nuts. They have that, what is that, like Salt Road or something? Have you ever been there?
Salt Flats.
Salt Flats. Did you go through there or no?
It was funny. I've never been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I figured
I've
you'd
never
be
been
there.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. Like people go fast as hell over there.
Yeah, it's not that far from Salt Lake City.
Gotcha.
I've actually, funny enough, never been there. But yeah, I mean, I really got into the whole off-roading thing. And,
Yeah.
so.
You have a Jeep too, right?
I do.
So what is it, a Wrangler?
Yeah, it's a Wrangler Rubicon.
Nice.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah. But you've done a lot of like marketing and footage with that car
Yeah,
too.
that's like my favorite car I've ever had.
Really?
Its own right.
Really?
Well, it's weird, man, because look, we both love cars. And
Yeah.
I always thought of cars as like street use, right? So
Yeah.
this whole off-roading, like overlanding thing is like foreign land to me. And I always looked at cars as like it's either a sick sports car or it's like a luxury car. That's
Right.
like what cars are, like what you have.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, I kind of came to this conclusion that I need a daily driver because I was always just driving a Porsche or whatever. And I only had sports cars.
Gotcha.
I mean, I had like, Infinities and like.
I remember your first Porsche that came in, right?
I had 3. Yeah, I had 3 Caymans. Well,
I remember you always used to have a Cayman back in the day.
Dude, the Cayman's such a great car.
Yeah.
I still like. I miss my base Cayman.
Yeah.
It was slow, but it was manual, and it was just.
It was everything at the time, right? Like
yeah, I wish I still
like
had
your
that
dream.
car.
Yeah.
It was funny because I had a base Cayman manual, and I traded in, and I got the GT4, and I always kind of thought the base Cayman was more fun.
Really?
It was like not a GT car.
Yeah.
It was just like slow, but you could just beat the crap out of it.
Right.
Then it was so fun on the street with the manual. But every car I always had, like even like my Infinity was stick. I always had manual, so I was always like sports car. And then if you didn't want a sports car, you got a luxury car.
Right.
I basically at one point was like, okay, I need a daily driver. Like I need something bigger. I need to be able to take people around. And I just wanted something that I like just was not too crazy expensive, that I wasn't gonna like lose my ass on, and that I didn't really have to worry about.
Yeah.
I was always, with the sports cars. And I always just liked Jeeps.
Yeah.
I just thought they were cool. So I bought a Jeep. That's my daily. And I just bought looking back, it's so bizarre because I just went to the Jeep dealership and I was like, I just want a black on black Jeep. And I'm so not like that. I like research the hell out of everything.
Yeah.
So I ended up with this like completely base Jeep. And I got it as my daily and I'm like, man, I love this thing. So I start going online, looking at all the parts and stuff. And then I come to this conclusion, like, crap, like they have the Rubicon and like, what am I doing? So I think I had that car for I think I had it for like 1 week.
Really? That was it?
Yeah. Through a crazy chain of events, I took it back and they like gave me all my money back and I got the Rubicon.
So clutch.
I lucked out, but stupid move, man. But it's funny because that car is what kind of opened up this whole this whole new side of like the country even out there to me. Or I never would have done it if I didn't have my Jeep. And I can't even take credit for this. One of my friends said it, but my friend said something that has always kind of stuck with me because it's 100% correct. Remember we were off-roading in my Jeep like the first time out there. And he's like, I just realized like this is like the other use of vehicles. He's like, I always thought cars were like a sports car, supposed to be fast and whatever. But he's like, this is the other use of cars. Go over rocks and go to crazy places and like see all these like insane spots. So the Jeep really opened up the world to me. And
nice.
It's just an awesome vehicle.
Yeah. You highly recommend one to anyone, huh?
Look, man, you got to understand it's a Jeep.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not going to like be racing around in it. And,
but it's fun. It looks like fun at least.
Off-roading in it is some of the most fun I've ever had in a car.
Yeah.
Like first of all, it's unbelievable how capable those cars are. Like I've taken mine all over Moab and like the most insane trails and it's unreal.
Wow.
Also, like I have the like convertible roof. So you press a button, the whole roof just opens.
Sick.
I love it in Miami, man.
Yeah, that's great.
It's essentially a convertible.
Yeah, it is a convertible. That's awesome. Nice. And the fact that you've integrated that with your business is awesome, as I've said earlier. And like, how are you able to travel and work at the same time? Like
my phone and laptop.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's as long as you're like actually going to be responsible, and be in communication on WhatsApp, answer phone calls. I mean, some of my friends, they're super successful as well, and they come and travel with me. And
right.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a responsibility aspect of it.
Of course.
But as long as I even have a Starlink in the Jeep.
Really?
So
you have internet.
Yeah. You ever use one of those things?
No, I've never used it.
Crazy invention.
Really? Why? It's like super quick.
If they made it just like literally smaller, it would just be the crazy. I mean, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
It's like this like alien looking satellite thing. It's not very big. And you can, you could be in the literal middle of nowhere. Like I've been in the middle of nowhere. You plug it in, you open the app, it spins around for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, like finding the satellites, and boom, you just have like the fastest internet ever.
That's nuts. How much are those?
Man, I bought mine a while ago. I want to say I could be really wrong. I want to say it's like $800 to buy it. It might be a little more, it might be less. I really don't know.
Yeah.
And then it's a subscription.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like, again, I don't know, $150 a month.
Yeah.
But I don't like have it on right now, so I don't pay.
Oh, you could turn it on and
Yeah,
off.
you can just pause it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So if I go on
great.
a trip, it's like I'll just put it on for the month,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
That's awesome. And what does your day-to-day look like now running Horus?
I typically wake up pretty early. I'm a big morning person, very productive in the morning.
Yeah.
So like I mean, if it was really up to me, like if I would go to bed at like 8:39. That's not really very realistic.
Yeah, it's not possible
Yeah, it's
nowadays.
not
Yeah.
Especially like I bike a lot and stuff, so you just can't be going to bed like super late. But
Yeah.
I mean, I wake up really early usually, typically like around 5:30 these days.
Yeah.
Gives me a little bit of time to like wake up, stretch, kind of like just get with the day.
Right.
If I'm gonna bike, then I'll be on the bike at like 6:15
Nice.
or so. Usually the rides start at like 6:30. Sometimes I go a little later, but yeah. If I don't go on the bike, usually I'll take that opportunity to just like get some stuff done in the morning, or at least just take a little time to myself to like read or stretch, just kind of get with the day.
Yeah.
So that's my mornings usually.
Nice.
I like working out in the morning, just get it out of the way.
Yeah. And then the rest of the day, you're just in meetings, on calls.
On calls, on my computer, working on whatever I need to work on.
Are you still designing the straps, or you have designers now?
No, we pretty much do that. Yeah. I mean, as far as fitments and all that stuff go, that's a whole nother ball game.
Of course.
But in terms of like colors and the marketing and how the strap should look, it's yeah.
You're heavily involved in that still. Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. And you bike a lot. How do you feel about biking in Miami? Is it sketchy?
I mean, it's very dangerous, of course. Yeah, I mean, look, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It just is. But it definitely changed my life, and I extremely love it. Like, I went on my bike before this, just to...
Really? Yeah.
So...
During rush hour?
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Key Biscayne.
Nice. You just went down.
It's incredible. It's an incredible sport, man. Like, so I would have a motorcycle. Like, I want a Ducati so bad. I think motorcycles are sick. I just can't do it here. I just know
it's too
idea.
dangerous.
But
dude,
one day I'll have one.
I see it all the time. It's
one day
horrible.
I'll have one when I live out in the
middle of nowhere.
If I have like a house somewhere, I would get one.
Right.
No, man, it's definitely dangerous. I cannot deny that. Lately, I've been trying to go with more groups because I feel that it's safer.
Yeah.
I feel like the risk is more like crashing into each other rather than a car, even though that could, of course, still happen. But going solo can be sketchy, of course.
Right.
But man, it's a life-changing activity.
I was really into it during COVID.
So that's what happened with me.
Yeah. That's when you started too?
Yeah. So I used to be a really big runner.
Gotcha.
I've always like kind of like, to me, cardio is my meditation.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the bike to this day. It's like the one time a day that I'm just not on my phone,
right?
Not talking to anybody, not thinking about anything.
Right.
I'm just like zone the hell out, just and like one with this like machine, and it's beautiful. Like driving, like riding the bike around. It's like in paradise here, you know?
Yeah, it is.
You learn the city really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, during COVID, so I used to run a lot, and I was a big runner. And I don't know, man, like my knees started hurting, and I don't know, I like lost touch with the whole running thing. I started to not like it as much. So I was doing a lot of cardio at the gym, which I hate to this day. Can't stand it. Swimming. But I didn't really find that like replacement for running. I always had bikes. So I had bikes my whole life. Like I had to have plastic surgery on my chin when I was like 14 because I got in a bad wreck. But like shitty, but like nothing crazy. So during COVID, we're all like super bored, and I was just like walking to like Key Biscayne and back, just it's COVID.
Yeah.
And one of my good friends was like, "Yo, let's get sick road bikes." I'm like, "Sure, I'm down to get a bike." He's like, "Okay, let's get Pinarellos. Let's get like sick Pinarellos." I have no idea what a Pinarello is. To me,
it's like 10 grand, isn't it?
More even, like sometimes.
It's crazy.
So to me, a bike is like some like $500 Trek that you can buy at like Target. Like
right.
I'm an idiot. Like just like these watches and cars, the rabbit hole of bikes is its own beast. And my friend is like, "Let's get sick Pinarellos." He shows me them, and I'm like, "Are you out of your mind?" I'm like, "Are you out of your mind? Like you're gonna spend that on a bicycle?" I was like, the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 4 deep now. But
That's crazy.
But he's like,
You have 4 or you have
no,
had?
I've had.
You've
but
gone
yeah,
through 4.
But it's just funny how these like things start.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, whatever. So he buys one, and I go with him, and we go pick it up, and I'm like looking at this thing, and it's like, have you ever like observed one or like held one? It's ridiculous. It's a work of art, man.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It is.
And it's like Pinarello. It's like, it's Italian. It's like, I like Italian things. It's like a Ducati.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it. It's just all carbon fiber and it has like electric shifting. And I mean, it's wild. And I'm looking at this bike and I'm like, this is like kind of the coolest thing ever. And I didn't like understand all the gear, like the clip-in shoes and whatever.
Right.
So he buys it and then he let me ride it. And that was the end of it.
You got one right away.
Me like an idiot. I go on eBay. I don't even get fitted. I'm like Googling like my height, like what size is Pinarello for this. I just wanted a black and red one. Bought one on eBay. Like, luckily it was good, but it could have been freaking fake for all I know.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but I bought one on eBay. I'm wearing like a t-shirt with like, you know, I didn't know anything about the sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got extremely, extremely into it.
It's great cardio. It'll really get you in shape too.
It will. And I like to eat. Like, I love going out to eat.
Yeah.
It's like, food's a big passion of mine.
Yeah.
Keeps you in check.
Dude, it really does.
Keeps you in check. Yeah.
Dude, bike riding just burns everything. It's crazy.
It's, yeah, you got to balance it. You know, you really got to make sure, like, I really stay consistent with the gym, with weights, with eating.
Of course.
Thing is, I could bike every single day.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I, like, but sometimes I actually purposely tell myself, like, you know what, don't do it today because, you know, I don't want to, like, yeah.
What's the longest bike ride you've done?
127 miles.
Wow.
I think.
Where was that? Here in Miami?
It was from here to 2 full laps on Key Biscayne. I did it recently, a few weeks ago. 2 full laps on Key Biscayne, and then all the way down to like Homestead, and then like 2 laps down there. I don't even know. And then back. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I did 100 miles on a mountain bike.
That's a lot.
During COVID. That shit sucked.
Yeah. I've done 100 solo a few times.
Now I have a Specialized. I don't know if you saw it over there. It's like
a road bike?
Yeah. Road bike, Specialized road bike. Bro, I bought it like 2 years ago and I rode it like 3 times. But I need to ride it more. I'm going to have you take a look at it after.
You should.
I got to ride it. In Miami, I'm scared, dude.
Go with groups.
Yeah.
Get into a group, you know? At least it's better. I mean, there's a way to be safer about it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's dangerous. You know, I didn't ride for a while, man. I got in a bad accident. I got freaked out.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
So that's part of the thing that pisses me off. I don't know. It was like Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. Just woke up. I was going down the Key Biscayne Bridge, and I used to be very irresponsible with the bike. So you have to like respect it. You know, like it's something that they say is like you got to respect the sport, and that's 100% true. And I definitely didn't. I was going out at like 9 p.m. with like my lights, like ripping it around at night like an idiot. And I was always just trying to go down the bridge like as fast as I could by myself.
How fast would you get?
Or you can go really fast down that bridge. Like you can go like well into like the 40s. Probably more. I don't even know. Like you can go, like I could tell you this, like going like 35 down that bridge is like nothing. If you like, so, I mean, you can go way faster. But yeah, I was just going down the bridge, going into Key Biscayne. I have no idea what happened. Just ate it. Thankfully, I did not get hit by a car. I didn't break anything. Kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
But
you had a helmet on?
Had a helmet on. That's why I have all these scars all over my arms.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a little traumatic.
Yeah.
You know, the car's like slamming on brakes. So I sold my bike, went a few months without it, and got to a point I just couldn't take it anymore.
Right.
I was so pissed off watching everybody's like stories on the bike. I wanted to be there so bad. And yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. When you're at that point, it's like your drug almost, right? Like
it definitely is a good drug.
Yeah, it is.
It's an addiction, but it's a good addiction
because it causes endorphins in your brain. So,
absolutely.
You know, like that's what people don't get is that exercise is literally it's a drug. Like
absolutely,
I have to exercise every day, some form. I didn't make it to the gym today, but I went for a jog before this. Knocked out 100 push-ups. I feel way better. I do it before every podcast.
Even I mean, I went on the bike before this podcast.
Yeah,
I know if I have to zone in on something and I got to like, present, like I got to do something. even if it's just go for a walk.
Right.
Sometimes like in the morning, if I'm like woke up late or I was out late the night before,
Yeah.
I always tell myself like, look, just go walk Brickell Key.
Right.
At least just do some form of something, get some sunlight.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the best thing, but it's better than nothing.
Of course.
And like as we age, man, you got to really keep on top of it.
Of course.
It's
And
easy.
you think it's kept you sharper in business as well, like being physically fit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely. I feel like crap after a few days of like not working out.
Yeah.
Like
It's
honestly.
crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I eat pretty well. Like I said, I have this like big food passion, so
Yeah.
that helps to balance it out. But you know, in my place, and I eat very clean. I try to
Right.
stay really on top of that. But yeah, man, like cardio is hard. Cardio like that is like real meditation.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I just go a few days without working out, I feel like crap.
Right.
I don't
For
feel
sure.
sharp.
Yeah.
Your brain, like my brain right now is much sharper because I just went on that bike ride.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And that's like, that's part of the Miami culture now, is like being physically fit, right?
Yeah.
Like I think every person that has sat where you are, we're like 13 episodes deep, I think all of them work out consistently, right? Like it's such a common trait amongst entrepreneurs, especially in Miami.
Because it takes discipline.
Yeah, it does.
You know? It takes
does.
discipline.
It does.
Can't fake it.
Yeah. And you read a lot too, right?
I do.
I always see you post books
I
on
do.
your Instagram story.
Yeah.
What are like some of your top 3 books?
I felt like I was slacking a bit, so I'm getting more into it.
Yeah, me too recently.
Okay, so I love the book Sapiens. It's very common.
Dude, I was going to bring that book up because I always see you post
It's an
it.
epic book. I love that book. Honestly, all the books in that series, it's Sapiens. Oh, I'm totally blanking out on the other two.
I don't remember the
There's-
other ones either.
There's 2 other ones, and I'm completely... And I think he's releasing actually...
What
fourth
is
one.
the book Sapiens is about the history of the human race, correct?
It's like the beginning of time, however you believe that started,
Yeah.
to present day. I need to reread it, but it ties so many strange things together. Then the next book is like present day. Then it goes into like present day to future is the third, and I think he's releasing a new one next month or something like that. That's about like AI or something.
Gotcha.
Which yeah.
Nice.
So I love that book. I love reading like biographies or autobiographies. The Steve Jobs one is kind of like you should read it.
That's a biography, right?
It's weird. It's like a biography and an autobiography.
It's by what,
Walter Isaacson.
Yeah, Walter
so
Isaacson.
It's interesting because in that book, he actually interviewed Steve Jobs for the book.
Okay.
So it was a biography an autobiography in that sense, where Steve Jobs is like actually the one giving the
Gotcha.
content, but Steve Jobs basically gave permission for him to interview a lot of other people. So he had a lot of other people in that book that didn't like him even. So you get this really interesting take on, and Steve Jobs is just like a very interesting person.
Of course.
So that's a great book. The Leonardo da Vinci, same author actually. Obviously, that one's not an autobiography.
Yeah.
But that one, the Leonardo da Vinci one by Walter Isaacson is also incredible.
Nice.
That one stuck with me a lot. Another book I loved, and I don't know if it was because like I read it in a strange time of my life when I was in LA, when I was living in LA. But it's Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis.
I've never heard of that book.
So he's the lead singer of Chili Peppers, Red Hot
Okay.
Chili Peppers. And I love that book. I don't know.
What is it about?
It's just his autobiography, his life.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just his life. But and I'm not like this like big rock and roll crazy fan or anything, but it's just a great book. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of keep going, but those are some of the ones that come to mind, at least, that just kind of stick with me.
Do you think that reading has helped you grow your business?
I mean, I think anything that, look, your brain's a muscle.
Yeah.
Like, your brain is like literally a muscle, and you have to keep the brain sharp.
Right.
So I think that anything that does that, yes, is going to help you.
Yeah.
Like, everything in your life matters. Your
Right.
fitness, your relationships, like your health. I mean, your health. Everything is gonna affect your well-being.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Nice. I'm reading The Psychology of Money now. Have you ever read that book?
No, I haven't though.
Dude, I had it sitting on my bookshelf for like a year, and this weekend I picked it up. I'm like, dude, I got to read this book. I can't put it down. Read it. It's
I will.
awesome.
I have it.
It's really
I have
good.
a lot of books just sitting there. That
Me
I need to
too.
read.
I always buy, like, I'll buy 1 or 2 books a week. and my house is usually filled with books. I have like these coffee books as well, but like I have books in my room, in my office, I have them everywhere.
I listen, it's like some people listen to audio. Like I'll listen to podcasts
Yeah.
here and there, but I don't know, man. At least for me, there's something you absorb information differently when it's like in a book. I don't know how to explain it.
I can't do audiobooks. I used to do them when I was driving to the University of Miami for law school every day. I was driving like an hour each way, and I would be able to do it because it's a long drive, not much going on early in the morning or late at night. But now, obviously, we're so busy. Like, I'm sure your phone goes off every minute, like 10 times every minute, that like an audiobook's just not the same. Like,
it's not. My thing is in the car, I'm either if I'm driving because it's like fun kind of thing, like I'm actually just gonna go like I'm going somewhere fun,
right,
or it's whatever, then I'll just blast music and have fun.
Right.
Sorry. But if I'm in traffic or if it's whatever, I'll listen to a podcast.
Gotcha. Yeah. Me too. It's like podcasts or I'm on the phone.
Yeah. I mean, it's multitasking.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm going to be sitting in traffic for an hour, I may as well like learn something.
Right. 100%. Yeah. That's awesome. And as far as Horus, like what are your next steps for Horus, next plans? Are you guys going to ever come out with products other than straps? Or is it just going to be straps? Or will you make your own watch?
A lot of people ask if I would ever make my own watch. It's funny. Look, I'm never going to say no to anything. Like, I don't know what the future holds. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
If you asked me, do I think like what my life is right now is what it would have been, I never would have imagined any of this.
Yeah.
Even a year ago, I would never have imagined what it is right now.
Really?
And 2 years ago, I would have never. So I've kind of just at this point, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see what happens. I would love to do other things than watch straps. Absolutely. I think we have a lot of potential in that regard.
Right.
But I think in terms of watch straps, we still have a lot to accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys started out with like Rolex or no, Panerai?
So
what did you start out with?
We started with, so the thing about Panerai is like, it's kind of a universal fit strap. It's like your stereotypical, if I said like draw a strap, it's fit on any watch with that lug width basically, but mostly Panerai and then AP.
Okay. So you started out with Panerai, AP. Now you guys are into Rolex. Recently you started Patek.
Yes.
Right?
So yeah, we have Nautilus and we have Aquanaut coming too.
Nice. And you have Aquanaut coming. Is it going to be like the same style of strap?
So
like
I can't just copy it for obvious reasons. Yeah. But it's like it's inspired by it. It's like, it's like paying tribute to it without copying it.
Nice.
I would never just like copy their pattern.
No, of course.
It's like our spin on it.
Yeah, but can you copy the pattern in a different color, or no, you cannot copy their pattern?
I don't really know like if they like literally have like
the pattern,
but
yeah.
I just wouldn't
out
of like
respect.
Yeah. I just wouldn't.
I agree.
So we make it look like, you don't want it to like look crazy aftermarket.
Right.
But you want to differentiate it and make it your own. So.
Yeah. And probably some of the most expensive straps are factory RM straps, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They can be what, like 10 grand, some of them?
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're all like,
So are you guys going to get into the RM strap?
The project,
Yeah. Their straps are made a little differently than like other companies, right? Because they have like screw in as opposed to pins.
That depends on the watch.
Okay.
Like they're a little bit different because you have that insert, but when it comes to the rubber, I mean, they're just using really high quality rubber, but it's really no different than this. There's different grades of rubbers you can use.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like anything, man. Everything goes deep,
Yeah. So what grade of rubber do you guys use?
So like, for example, this is an FKM rubber strap. So this is just like a higher quality. Like this strap, you can see like I'm resting it on my jeans, like touching on my shirt. It's just like, there's no dust on it. It's
right. And it's not like sticky.
No, you can like clean it. So if it starts getting a little dirty, you can literally just like clean it off. And look, I mean, if you're gonna wear it to the beach and like spray suntan lotion on it every day and bake it in the sun, like it's like leather seats in your car. Like,
right.
Things wear out, but there's different qualities that you can go with. And
nice.
So
because a lot of people, how much are these straps? Like what do you guys sell
these are like
for?
in the mid $200s.
$200. So to someone that's like looking at these straps, they're like, why is a rubber strap $200? Like, how do you justify that? Like,
So, well, I
because
think
there's got to be a reason behind it.
absolutely. So, first of all, anybody that runs a business understands that, you know, that your per unit cost is not the cost of the product.
Of course.
The R&D that has gone into it, the warranty that we give with it.
Oh, you give a warranty as
Yeah,
well?
of course. The assurance that you're buying from a real brand that will stand behind the product should something go wrong.
Yeah.
The brand name, that even the fact that it would have like resale value after, the team of support you have behind that, where if you have an issue, you can email us and we'll figure it out for you.
Yeah.
That you're getting a real genuine product, that it has been R&D tested,
Yeah.
that you are part of a community.
Right.
You're not just buying something that's gonna, you know, this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a lot of products out there that you can get something similar for a lot less money, but you buy that because of that added value to it.
Yeah.
And you're paying for the R&D that went into it, for the warranty and the assurance behind it and everything. And
yeah. And look, at the end of the day, you're spending what, 10, 20, 30, $100,000 on a watch. Relatively speaking, $200 to $300 on a strap is not that big of a deal.
not at all.
You
not
know?
at all.
And and you have to make sure that you're buying a good strap, because I'm sure if you buy a shit strap, like maybe from like eBay, that's like off brand, it's not a name or anything, you could put your Rolex on it, go jet skiing, next thing you know, you look down, your watch is probably gone, right? Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. It's, you know, you're again, the price of the strap relative to what it's going on.
Yeah,
is very little.
exactly.
But people have to understand too, like, we've for a very long time on certain products had a lifetime warranty. So it's like something, if anything is wrong, we will just send you a new one. We'll take care of that.
Do you still have that lifetime warranty?
Depends on the product. Depends on the product. You have to also be careful that it's not abused and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, it's like that assurance behind it, that community of people that are behind it. You know, that also leads to other things, like, you know, the importance of like networking.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
You know, when you buy into, a lot of people buy into a brand because of the culture behind it.
Yeah,
too.
100%.
You know? So.
And what do you think attributed to that branding? Was it just natural? Was it something that you did intentionally?
Like with
like, because Horus is like it's a known brand. Like, people I see on Moda and like other watch, you know, forums, like, oh, I'm selling this watch with a Horus watch strap. They're not like, oh, I'm selling this watch with a camo strap, right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I mean, we've been in the game for a while.
Yeah.
People know us just from the amount of advertising that we've done. It's a reputation thing too. People, you know, they know what the product is.
Yeah.
They know that we're a quote unquote real brand, that, you know, like that we have a support team behind it.
Yeah.
That we're tested. We have a big variety too. A lot of brands don't have as big of a variety. And it's also, man, it comes down to the people.
Yeah.
A lot of people know me. A lot of people know people on the team. And, you know, when you're accessible like that and you know that there's good people behind a brand, it's different as well.
Yeah.
You know, people connect with people.
Right.
At the end of the day.
They do.
You
I
know?
agree. And that's why social media and personal brands are so important, right?
Absolutely. Think about how many designer brands the person behind it is kind of bigger than the actual brand itself.
Yeah.
In its own right.
Yeah, that's true. And do you ever have these moments where like you see like maybe early on, you would see your straps on other people's watches, like around Miami, and you're like, holy shit, that's sick that like my product, like he's using my product.
To this day, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, how does that feel for you? Like,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
a good feeling.
It's cool. I mean, one of the coolest things, I remember I was on a plane from one island in Hawaii to another island in Hawaii, and a guy had like our camo strap on his AP, like just random stuff like that. It's wild. But one of the coolest things about Horus, in my opinion, is like, I love traveling and I love going to different countries and experiencing different cultures, and I'm just fascinated by the world and the different ways that people live. Yeah. And man, I've been all over the world, and it's like I can fly to like Hong Kong or Singapore and go to dinner with a group of people that I've never met, but we've been like talking to each other on Instagram. They've been supporting the brand for so long. Yeah. That we're just sitting at dinner and like Singapore. And it's like, these are all my friends.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's like on the other side of the planet.
Right.
Completely different world. And it's connected. It's
Right.
wild.
Yeah. It's opened up a lot of opportunity for you, right?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
if you were a lawyer or whatever, that would not be happening. Like, I can't go to Singapore right now and I wouldn't know anybody,
Yeah, but it's all different. It's all how you use it. Like, you've taken
course.
a very interesting spin on
Thank you.
on the whole lawyer thing. Like,
Yeah.
you've like the social media that you've built and
Thank
everything like that.
Yeah.
Like my dad's an attorney.
Yeah.
But he would have like no idea, like making reels and stuff. You know what I mean? But like you've kind of taken that like social media world that it works really well now and put it into that. So, yeah. It's all what you make of it.
Right. Right. That's awesome. And so what's your favorite watch company or brand?
So look, I don't have a favorite. I respect a lot of different brands for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
If you want to know, like, just you want to like say some of my favorite watches, just in general. So I love the vintage Day-Date with the black onyx dial.
That one is sick.
Just plain black dial.
Yeah, 36 millimeter, right?
Yeah. I can rock a 36 though.
Yeah.
I have 36 Rolexes.
Yeah.
It's honestly not my favorite size. Like I'll get a 40, 41 all day long. But for a vintage watch, whatever.
What do you think of the new Onyx Day-Date?
Okay, so it's very nice. Nothing wrong with it. This is my like strange opinion. You know how they have that like white line?
Yeah.
Like it kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
It's like not symmetric.
Yeah.
Not that it needs to be symmetric, but I just like the old one better. I don't
Right.
know. The new one's sick.
And then because the new one has the baguettes, right? The baguette markers.
Yeah.
The old one doesn't.
No, the old
just
one,
black.
it's just black. And it looks aftermarket.
Yeah.
It's so sick. It just has the Rolex crown and it's like no numerals.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sick. All right. So that's one of them. What else?
Love that watch. I love the black, Drew actually, who we're doing the collab with, he has this watch, but I love the black ceramic perpetual AP.
Skeleton or non-skeleton?
I like the non-skeleton one.
You do?
Don't get me wrong, the skeleton's incredible.
Yeah.
I get it. But that all black ceramic AP, the perpetual calendar is just, I don't know what it is about that watch. It's like so low key kind of, but it's the perpetual calendar movement is just fascinating in and itself. But that watch is so me. So I love that watch.
It's an awesome watch. What are those trading at? Like 200?
I really don't know the up-to-date market on them. Probably something like that.
They're very light too, the ceramic watches.
Super light.
I tried one on the other day for the first time. Just a skeleton, black ceramic skeleton.
You know, if you drop it, it can shatter.
I know, dude. I was so sketched out.
I know.
I was like, here's your watch.
It's a little, but it's funny because I don't like the white ceramics.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
It
of
looks
that.
like fake to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all beautiful,
cool,
but it's just
yeah.
not my taste. Yeah. The blue one is cool. I'm not like a all blue guy though, really.
Right.
But I love the Patek Celestial. That like.
Oh yes, that one is sick.
Yeah, sick.
It has like the star pattern on it.
Right? I love like outer space and like
Yeah.
cosmos stuff, and that watch is just like. That's also like a really big low key flex.
Yeah, it
like,
is.
Really, if you don't know,
yeah.
like, that's not when Patek. Everybody's just like Nautilus, Aquanaut,
Right.
You know, but Patek makes so many beautiful watches.
Yeah,
love that watch.
You make straps for all the Pateks?
Well, a lot of Pateks are just kind of a standard watch strap.
What is the average lug size on a watch? Like
they range a lot, but usually, like for the watches we're talking about, it'd be like 2021.
Gotcha.
2021, 22.
Gotcha. Okay.
Covers a lot of it.
Yeah.
Overall watch, Daytona.
Yeah.
It's like the Porsche 911 of watches.
It is.
You know?
The only thing it's missing is a date. Like, I love that this watch has a date and it's like very well integrated. You can't really tell. I think if the Daytona had a date similar to the Royal Oak Chrono.
See, on the Royal Oak Chrono, like you don't really notice the date too much.
Yeah, you don't.
I agree with you that it could have a date maybe, but there's something like just so symmetric about it. Yeah. It doesn't really bother.
I don't know what it's called, but it's a chrono and a perpetual calendar. Have you ever seen that one?
From who?
AP. It's crazy. It's like 1.3 million.
Yeah.
It's like the Grand Master or something.
Yeah, there's
AP.
some like strange one.
But it looks like a perpetual calendar. If you don't know, but it's a perpetual calendar, but it has the pushers, and it looks the same, but it just has it's crazy. Has a
I
chrono on
love
top.
AP perpetual calendars.
Yeah, they're awesome. Is that like one of your dream watches? Do you have one or no?
I don't have one. The black ceramic one.
The black ceramic?
All day long, man.
That's your dream watch?
Yeah. It's not like my dream watch.
Yeah.
It's not my dream watch, but it's one of my favorites.
Gotcha.
And then, for me personally, most RMs are not really my style.
Yeah.
Most. I have extreme respect for the brand, but most of them are just like way too big for me and whatever. But the 6702, the really thin carbon one,
Yeah.
so sick.
Yeah, that one is
Love
sick.
that watch. It's so
sick.
light, it's so small, just weighs absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Horus strap?
You know, it depends on the watch, of course. I'm a very simple person.
Yeah.
So I like black. It's our best seller too.
Really? Black's
Yeah.
your bestseller?
Just plain black.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, when people ask me like, oh, what sells the best? I always say, whatever you think sells the best is probably what sells the best.
Yeah.
Black, gray, white.
Right.
Yeah.
Basic
Miami
colors.
blue is extremely popular.
Yeah.
Miami blue is extremely popular.
Is it one of your favorites?
So the Yachtmaster, the Rhodium Yachtmaster with the Miami blue hand,
That one's sick.
that watch is like extremely popular with the Miami blue strap.
Yeah.
That watch looks incredible on it. You know, Miami blue is not my like color of choice, but it depends on the watch.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I switch watch straps a lot. So
How easy is it to switch it out?
So first of all, it depends on the watch.
Okay.
Some like our Aquanaut straps will take 2 seconds. It's a quick release. You're just gonna yeah. So once you basically take it off the watch, it's really simple. Like on a Panerai, it would take like no time.
Right.
It depends on the watch though, and the thing is, we always recommend just like take it to a jeweler if you don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
But it depends. I know people that can't change a light bulb.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I'm very like technical. Like I can like do things. Like I know how to like sew things and whatever. So for me, it's not difficult once you understand the basics of it.
Yeah.
But it kind of depends.
So on the Rolex, is it like one of those pins that just like
Spring load.
with a spring?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have spring loaded pins and then you have screw pins, right?
Yeah.
APs use a lot of screw pins, right?
AP is a little complicated sometimes.
It is, right?
It's a little complicated sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can switch an AP strap with like
With
my
your eyes closed, yeah.
like
But
2
that's
seconds.
what you do all day.
Yeah.
like-
It's really actually it looks more difficult than it is.
yeah.
One of the more issues with some of these watches is just how tiny some of the screws are.
Right.
Like the Nautilus, like I can show you how to change the strap on it. We sell the toolkit. We have a video. It's fine. But man, one of the screws that comes out of that watch, bro, it's like a speck of dead skin.
Wow.
So I always recommend do it over a jewelry tray or something.
Gotcha.
Because I've lost a lot of pins.
Yeah.
It's not fun to get a new one.
No, that's not fun. And then you got to make sure you put it on right, because if not, you got a $100,000 watch on your wrist that could fall off.
We always recommend just take it to a jeweler.
Yeah.
You know?
Most-
and that's why a
most
lot of
jewelers will
stores
do it.
like to have it too. It brings people in.
Yeah.
And it's part of the experience. You know, you go in, you get your strap changed.
What are some major stores that carry Horus?
So we've kind of went on like a big overhaul of our retailers in recent times because we wanted to like really like downsize in a sense. Not downsize, I'm sorry, but work with bigger accounts that are a bit more exclusive rather than be just all over the place. But we're on Mr. Porter, we're on Farfetch, stuff
Wow.
like that. So yeah.
Nice. Do you ever see yourself getting into like Mayors or something, or are they?
Maybe.
Yeah. Is that something you would want to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that'd be huge.
Absolutely.
Mayors one of the biggest jewelers.
I don't know if they're one of the. I mean, they're big.
They're big. Yeah, they're
here
big.
too.
They're
Yeah.
huge.
But
Then J.R. Dunn, right? They're the J.R. Dunn's.
depends on the
pretty big.
geographic area you're
Correct.
at. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I'd like to see that. But you're also at a bunch of like local watch dealers, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know if you can name some of them. Like what Miami local dealers are you at?
I mean, we work with a lot, but like obviously TPT.
TBT.
You know? Yeah. So
CRM too.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we work a lot with. Yeah, I mean, you know, Neil has a display in there, and
Yeah.
constantly doing stuff with him. So
Nice.
yeah, they're good
And
people.
you've made some good friends with like people in the watch community, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like some of your best friends, I'm sure, just because you guys work together and
Look, it's a shared hobby, shared
Yeah.
passion, you know, and it's brought a lot of people together. I mean, yeah, the amount of people that I've met through watches is insane.
Yeah.
Obviously the brand helps. But,
Do you think living in Miami has caused your business to grow more than it would have anywhere else? Like,
yeah, probably.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's because it's such a hub of like luxury items and
Then-
watches.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can make a good or a bad case for any place.
Right.
But first of all, Miami has just become so hot since COVID.
Yeah.
Like it's wild what's happened in Miami. You
Yeah.
look at it, the development, the property
Nuts.
values.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when I moved here, Brickell City Center was like not open.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Like it was like they
Yeah.
were like opening Brickell City Center. Like,
Yeah.
they were like building it.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Yeah, it's developed so much.
Yeah.
And there's still so many new developments, and now they're building something similar to Brickell City Center in downtown.
It's insane.
And hopefully downtown gets cleaned up a little bit.
Insane. It's wild.
Yeah.
But the thing about Miami, like anything you need with watches here, like any watch that I need or I need to see or the content I need to create,
Right.
it's just like,
So accessible.
yeah, I could just get like, and it's insane. You
Yeah.
know? Imagine living somewhere else. That's not possible. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, in that regard, Miami's a great place.
Yeah,
And, you know,
100%.
the networking it's great.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think we covered all the bases. Is there anything else that we should talk about?
No, I mean,
No?
well, if you have any other questions, happy to answer them. But I think I think we covered everything we said we were going to.
Do you ever see yourself having like a only Horus strap retail store, or that wouldn't make sense for you?
I have a great idea for a retail store.
You
and
do?
I think it would do really well. It's not my main focus right now. I think we have other things we need to do.
Yeah.
But I could certainly see it working.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, check out Horus Straps on all social media. Mark Margulies. What's your at?
Mark Margulies, M-A-R-K. Let me spell it.
Yeah.
M-A-R-K, M-A-R-G-U-L-I-E-S.
And then Horus Straps is Horus.
Horus, S-T-R-A-P-S. 2 S's, Horus Straps.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, guys, follow them. We'll link everything down below. If you guys ever want to get a strap, what is it, horusstraps.com?
HorusStraps.com. Send me a DM. Happy to help.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate it.